Welcome to Zen Rose Garden Behind the Scenes. Coming up in this video, mediumship mastery.
Join us for some behind the scenes talk on topics we go on about when we don't have adult supervision.
And when we are running amok with unicorns and fairies.
Usually, yeah.
Does happen, usually before or after happy hour.
I think they run amok on occasion. So
I mean, you want to be hanging with unicorns and fairies during happy hour, right?
Yes.
If you want to be happy, unicorns and fairies.
Yes. So let us know that you can hear us and see us with the hashtag good to go if you would.
Please do. And if you're just getting to know us,
I'm Heather.
And I'm David
from ZenRoseGarden.com.
We love helping metaphysical entrepreneurs bring their unique healing skills to the world in a big way.
And if you've just found us, welcome. Say hi in the comments. It's great to connect.
If you're new, consider subscribing. Click that bell right over here, somewhere down there, and you'll be good to go.
And if you watch us on the regular, these hangouts are different from our usual YouTube educational videos. And here's the difference.
Our regular YouTube videos give you some free pro tips and tell you about our signature membership group, Zen Academy.
AKA how we keep the lights on, pay our sushi bill, and feed 2 hungry dogs and 1 bougie cat.
These live hangouts are about getting personal.
And we want to take you inside Zen Rose Garden, inside our heads, connect with you guys, and unplug. It's sort of our sometime in the day recap of our crazy
day. And I don't know if you necessarily want to be all up in these brains, but I think it's pretty cool. So come join us.
Because it's
all right, Zen heads, it is time to tag up. For all of our Zen heads in Zen Academy, let us know that you're here with a hashtag Zen for life.
Yes, and if you're watching live, give us a hashtag live tribe.
And if you're watching in the replay, hashtag replay fam.
Yes, let us know where you're watching from.
And one special thing about where that is,
so you can help David with his ever-expanding knowledge of geography.
Thanks to you guys and cultural expansion.
So if you are a healing arts professional or you would like to be, give us a hashtag Healing Pro in the comments and let us know what exactly you do. What's your special spice?
So in today's video earlier, we talked about sitting in the power of mediumship, or the work that it takes to stabilize your connection to your gift.
So yeah, we got to talking about what's something helpful, and one of you guys asked about where we started talking about money and the what you charge and if you that kind of talk about that, and it is a question we get a lot about. So
we got to talking about what the step is after you build your skill.
Right. And of course, it is always taking it to the land of the living. But how do you segue from doing your work, stabilizing it, doing your sitting in the power of mediumship, your sitting work, into taking it into doing it with real people, alive people, not just your guides and your teachers.
Right. So how do you segue into making this something more beautiful and amazing for you? So the question that I have for you is, how many of you are intuitive arts practitioners already that feel comfortable charging for your services? Okay. Or do you feel like you are ready to charge for your services, even if you don't know how yet?
So here's why we ask this, because we find that a lot of people who they finish their Reiki training, they finish their whatever training they're doing, and they're ready. I'm messing with my clothes here, my wardrobe adjustment here. We find that sometimes they're uncomfortable charging at first, they're not sure what to charge, or if they have, there's always some self-worth that comes up around
if they should charge.
So there is a kind of
a template,
and that's kind of what we talked about after today's live about. Let's kind of outline a template for you to kind of guidelines of from when you kind of feel like you've mastered your skills enough to start working with people until you really feel confident in what that looks like in your journey as a professional.
Right.
So
I want you to realize that is a very normal part of the path. It is a very normal part of the process. Do I charge? Do I not charge? If I do, how much? How do I know when I'm ready to start charging? So all of those things are a natural evolution of the process of taking it from hobby to pro. And I wanted to hit Starseed's question. She says, for future reference, do I need to have a Facebook account to join Zen Ed Academy? Say that 10 times fast. You do not need a Facebook account to join Zen Ed Academy. If you just want to do the courses, if you want the group support, if you want the social, the community element, then that happens on Facebook. But you don't have to have a Facebook account. And honestly, if you have a Facebook account just for that community, we would be honored and you would be blown away.
Honestly, some people do, because some people are just on the Teachable platform where the courses are stored. Right. But there's a lot of stuff that also happens in the Facebook group that's kind of fun, and you get to meet some of the people that are in there. And
you could just hang out with us here. That's fine too.
Whatever you want to do. But let's talk about how do you know? So first, how do you know when you have mastered your mediumship to a point when you are ready to go pro? We kind of broke this down over morning coffee after this morning's live about how do you know? Okay, right. So we kind of are going to lay it out for you.
Yeah. So when you first engage with mediumship or with any kind of healing modality, any kind of energy work, generally you are playing, right? You're getting familiar with it. You're starting to see how this works for you. You're just dipping a toe in the water, and maybe you're doing readings for friends or family, or work with friends or family because they're safe.
You know them, right?
It's not as challenging yet because you're already connected. Okay, you already know them. And I want to take this a step further, and let's go, for example, with landscaping. Okay, if you want to be a landscaper, you go out and you basically learn how to work with a garden, how to work with plants and grass, and how to mow yards and things like that. And you reach this point where you have enough knowledge that you start maybe charging a little bit as you kind of go deeper into it.
So let's kind of lay that out a little bit more. So that's the first kind of step. You're reading for friends and family. And usually from there, there's kind of a next step. And that's you branch off from there as those friends that you know bring you their friends that you don't know necessarily. And now you're starting to challenge yourself a little. But it's still safe, right? You might not be doing any education yet, any pro training. You're still just kind of playing in the energy, but they're still safe because they're your friends' friends. Okay, they're not total strangers yet. So that's kind of the second step, second stage that kind of I think you go into.
Right. And then somewhere along the line, you realize that you're probably getting pretty good at this, right? And then people keep telling you
that you should charge and go pro, right?
You should charge for this. Absolutely. Now, that's usually the time when you find a teacher or some kind of a legitimate system to study, because the next step after that is doing this for total strangers. And that is where a lot of your fears, and a lot of your insecurities, and a lot of your self-worth are starting to surface, and you got to work through that.
So you're getting ready to go into this next step. That's the big leap. So the first two stages are really it's a hobby, it's joyful, it's fun. You're doing it at,
exploration.
It's exploration. You're doing it at your friend's bridal shower. It's not really stretching out. So now is the point where you got to face some of your stuff. So you start to study the techniques of mediumship as in art.
And we're using mediumship as an example.
Yeah. And so you do the sitting work that we talked about in
the earlier
video. And you do the sitting work, you start to do that you need to do to patiently unfold and begin to work with people that you don't know at all.
And this is where a lot of mediums start going pro a little bit too soon.
And the reason we say that is because a lot of stuff can happen. You're starting to get really consistent evidences, which is what mediumship is about. You want to get evidences that make sense for the person. And this is really exciting, but some things will still throw you for a loop. Like there's still some nuances to work on before you get to the last step, which is total surrender and trust without fear.
That takes not only the sitting work, but also the self-work, the self-growth, working on your fears, your insecurities, your doubts, all of those pieces and parts that are going to come up as a natural part of this process.
So it's when mediums take this step from like friends, family, friends of friends into, oh, now I got to train and do all this. Then that's when the stranger danger, that's when the real work kind of starts, because so much of it is about doing the technique work, the sitting work, but also the self work. And that's kind of like, it will bring up stuff you don't expect.
Yeah.
Like your own fears will come up, your self-worth. Am I good enough? All of that stuff.
Yeah. Starseed says, I will definitely be joining when my finances allow and I can devote enough time to it. For now, I just joined the live streams and the replays. Also to let you know, the replays are also available as far as the courses go on Teachable. So you don't have to miss anything. You totally can go at your own pace. If you're on IG, hit me up, or any other social media at Zen Rose Garden, any social media that you have, hit me up, because I wanted to talk to you specifically about something special for you. So hit me up, please. Anywhere.
So this is about you're doing your training, right? You got
Right.
boots on that. You're not boots on the ground, but you're really doing your training and your self work. And we generally suggest to students that 1 year from when you decide to go pro, but before you go pro,
yes, and doing sessions for free, okay, or on some kind of a small donation basis to build your skills. So these sessions should be on new people that you don't know. You can volunteer at festivals or, you know, anywhere that you want to volunteer. There is no shortage of people looking for the work that you want to do.
And this might be where you do some online platform work. I mean,
Right.
I prefer one-on-one in person when you're doing this kind of work, because you're kind of throwing yourself into Shark Tank.
The deep end, yeah.
It's a little bit safer to do it online, maybe with people that aren't in the room. But we kind of suggest you take a year once you start, from the time you decide to go pro, before you actually to do a year of sessions for people you don't know, to get your sea legs under you.
It's basically an internship.
Yeah.
Okay. Very similar to an internship where you're just kind of like a self-imposed internship or apprenticeship.
Yeah.
And the reason that we suggest about a year is because there is nothing in this entire world that trains you like boots on the ground with total strangers.
Yes.
Okay. But you have to treat it like an internship for yourself, like a business for yourself before you go pro.
I know that's what I did. I took a whole year and just, did that kind of thing. And it was amazing because, then once you decide to actually go pro, right? You do some type of, let's say you've completed this year, boots on the ground. You've really worked on your stuff. You've worked with total strangers. You did your sessions for free, your own little personal internship. And then once you decide to actually go pro, you'll be like, okay, I got this. I'm being consistent. Do some type of intro session or first session free for a while, depending on your specific type of business. Like if you're doing tarot card readings, a lot of people just come for a one-off. So you may want to work something else out, like they get a free something.
Right.
And this next phase, if you do that type of thing, which a lot of people, I'm surprised, are not willing to do.
Right.
This next phase will help you build your reputation, as well as it can show you really quickly where your weak spots are.
Right. So that you can hone them before you are ready to charge fully with confidence in your abilities. It will also show you who your ideal client is and who they are not.
Right. So so that you've got kind of two periods of testing. You've got that one where you're interning yourself with strangers, boots on the ground. And then you've got this one where you're building your reputation.
Yes. It's the intro.
Yeah. So it's sort of like
intro pro.
Right. So you are basically getting your, it's like
the testing phase. You're market testing and you're proving basically by putting your money where your mouth is, putting your sessions where your mouth is. You know what? I know that I can help you. And I know it so well because by this time you've built up enough courage and enough confidence in yourself. You're like, you know what? I know it so well that I'm going to give you the first session for free or the first session for a massive discount.
And it like I said, it really depends on the type of
work that you're doing.
Like for us, we did our first session free for a while because we're holistic healing is our thing.
Right.
So it's going to show you who you want to work with, because a lot of people get into this work and they're like, I'm going to work on everybody because everybody needs healing. But if you try to work on everybody, you work on no one. So in that first, say, year that you're testing in your professional life, you are professional, but you're charging a little bit of a discount. You're going to see different types of clients in that setting come and go. And you're going to know, I don't want to work with that kind of client. I really like to work with this type of client. And
it's going to help you define your specialty.
Right. So after that year, you'll know how much to charge depending on, the type of work you want to do.
Right.
You'll also know who to market to.
Yep.
That's the ideal client for you. For us, we like working with people who are business people that
are
want
ready
to
get into business.
That want to do this as a profession. That's kind of what we decided after 11 years. Well, before that, but that's what we really like to work with.
So in the medium sitting work that we talked about, which is called sitting in the power
of mediumship.
That's the way that the Brits term it, but for us, we call it sitting work. I personally call it meditation for mediumship, and that's more explained in the video. We talked about doing the work to gain rapport with spirit and skills by yourself. So first, you're doing that work.
So mastery happens with the boots on the ground action, right? Session by session until you get to that total trust, that surrender place. And even then, you still have new things to learn, but now it's just fun new things, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So here is the point today. We often see mediums go from reading casually and maybe getting some really good results from friends and family to jumping in, starting a business without doing any kind of training and self-imposed apprenticeship to build that solid foundation of business.
So this is where we see a lot of people that come to us to train have already like failed in their own eyes, like they couldn't get it going.
Business, right.
It's because they didn't take the time to do those steps, go through those stages. So a lot of new pros that skip these steps altogether sometimes will either charge too little for their services, or they'll charge too much for their skill set right off the bat, right out of the gate.
Or they get massively discouraged when all of those emotional triggers pop up when they had a discouraging session.
Right. Okay? And that's when you do those 2 periods of, a year of doing for free and then a year of a discount when you finally open your business, so that you can understand how to deal with difficult people that are going to come in, because they're going to come in a type of pattern.
And your reaction.
Right. And then you're honing that. So
if this is you, if you're the kind of a person that that gets discouraged when you've got a session that is discouraging, it didn't work out the way that you wanted it to, or if you find yourself charging too much or too little or don't know where to charge, step back, restart, and remember that you can have a do-over anytime. Go back to the joy of what you do. Build your apprenticeship from the ground up and fill in those missing pieces that you've had that are missing. Right?
That's why they're called missing pieces.
That's why they're called missing pieces. So I want you guys to remember, it looks like we're having a little bit of a problem with the chat. I wanted to say what's up to Jeff, to Denise, Gail. Good to see you guys, Starseed. We see that you're here. We can't see your comments, but we do see that you're here.
Our chat's a little bit frozen right now.
So I wanted you to remember, all of you, remember that twice a week, we are with our Zen Ed Academy members teaching the weekly lessons. So if you miss us, you will know where we are.
We are alive, and we'll be back to chop it up with our YouTube fam.
YouTube fam.
Faster than 2 shakes of a unicorn's tail after he's pooped on your carpet. I say he, because girl unicorns do not poop on the carpet. Like I've said it before, I'll say it again.
I'm going to tell you that rainbow frosting is super, super hard to get out. If you like this video, hit that like button 5 times, because I like the number 5.
He does. And if you have any insider stuff you want to know, let us know in the comments. We love to hear your stories and tell you all our personal stories.
And for more live hangouts, behind the scenes secrets, and mind hacking pro tips,
be sure to subscribe
and click that bell right about there to turn notifications on,
so you're the first to know
when we drop a new video
or go live.
And we know that time is a valuable and precious resource, and the fact that you guys have chosen to spend that with us, we absolutely honor and appreciate that. Thank you. Most importantly, that you are ready to level up your skills and take your life and your business to a whole new level, to level up and to get the skills that you need to go pro. We honor that even more. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
See you in the next video.